So when balancing the Steadimate S, I'm using a Ronin S as an example. You're gonna balance the camera with the Ronin S like you normally would, okay? So just follow the manual for that. One thing I do want to point out, once you install this, you may notice a little bit of play here, okay? That is completely normal. Once you have it under load, that play won't be there, okay? So next, you take your balancing stud, you place it on a C-stand, and you place your Steadimate S on there, okay? Now, of course, you can actually do this on the arm. It's just not recommended, as you'll exert a lot more energy and you can possibly injure yourself trying to balance on a Steadicam arm. Okay, so as you can see here on the bottom, I've added counterweights to it. The reason for that is to make sure it stays bottom heavy. So if I didn't have those there, it would flip upside down because then it would be heavy on the camera side. So I made sure I had that. Now you can see that it's kind of pointing at an upward angle. To counteract that, you have your knobs right here, the tightening knobs for the rods. Loosen that. And then I send the weight uphill. Okay, so I bring that up until it becomes vertical. Okay, so you're just kind of eyeballing it, looking at how that goes. Okay, and then tighten that down. You may find yourself using more counterweights on the back end than the front end, and that's to help counteract the weight of the lens on the front of the gimbal. Another note, that even though this rig is statically balanced, it is not dynamically balanced. Now, if I were to pan the rig over to the right or left side, especially with not enough counterweights here on the bottom, it will lean the direction of the lens. And that's because now I have more weight hanging off one direction than the other. This operates best if you can try to keep the lens and the weights pointing in the same direction. You can still move it left or right a little bit and you should be fine as long as you have a nice firm grip here on the bottom. Now that your rig is statically balanced, you can check your drop time. Easy way to do that is just to hold the rig like this, let go, and count how many seconds it takes to pass the vertical point. So 1001, okay? So that took about half a second to 1 second, okay? So ideally you do want it in that range, at half a second to 1 second. That's where it's up to you on your operating style and what you would like to do. You don't want it too bottom heavy because then it could become pendular when you're doing a lot of movement. You just want to make sure that you have a nice firm grip on the control handle. That'll allow you to keep from any of that floating or pendular action to happen. To be able to adjust your drop time, you can add or remove counterweights to do so. You just want to make sure you remove an equal amount of weight on both sides to make sure that your rig stays vertically balanced. Refer to the manual for more information.